Can you talk about the loss of personal will, the unfolding of that process? Sure, the loss of personal will. Well, funny enough, the human always acts as if it's got free will. So I have 2 drinks here. This is just to show you. Now this, have to be very careful. The reason you don't know this, but the reason that I always have my drink in a travel flask is because I can't be trusted not to spill it. It also keeps the tea warm. And then I've got another one here, but this one is not in a bottle, so danger near the computer. Anyway, we got the 2 drinks, and then I sit here and then I say to myself, there's lemon juice, that's what that is, lemon water, or there's tea. And then which one would I like? I can only have one. I'll take the tea. So we take the tea. So it appears with free will. And that always appears like that, enlightened or not enlightened, it always appears with free will. And the way that free will appears is with a discussion that happens and feelings that come with this. So a thought pops up and says, shall I pick shall I pick the lemon juice? And then another thought pops up and says, oh no, you should pick the tea. The tea will wake you up. But lemon juice is much better for you and it will rehydrate you. Yes, but I prefer tea. Okay, we'll pick the tea. And then it picks the tea. Now, that gives the appearance of free will because there is voices having a conversation and it feels as if it comes with the feeling of choice. So you feel like you're choosing, like there's a decision happening. But it's actually all these different impulses coming into play at one time, giving the appearance that somebody has free will. But the question to ask yourself is, where do those thoughts come from? So how does that thought pop up that says, I would like to have some lemon juice? No, I would like to have some tea. Where is that appearing from? So we assume that that voice is us, who we are. But where does it come from? Where is the person with the typewriter deciding to put that thought into play? So you say, I think it, but how did you think it? How did that thought come up? And then the next question, which is very interesting as well, is who is it that knows that thought? Because that thought happens, but it's known. Something else, something prior to the thought, knows the thought. So we believe we're these voices inside the body. And that they're inside the head chatting away. But firstly, where are those thoughts coming from and where is that coming from? We believe that's where we are and that we're centered behind here and we're choosing. And who is it or what is it that knows that thinking process? Because who you truly are is the knower of everything. And the voices, the conversation, the appearance of free will is appearing in that knowing. It's not actually knowing anything. That voice that you believe yourself to be, the chooser, isn't actually an experiencer, but is an experience happening in this. Now that's mind-blowing. That's so beautiful. And the freedom is coming back to the experiencer, which is always present, rather than that total identification with being this person that's moving in time, the person that's choosing, the person that's living a life, the person that came from the past and moving into the future. All of that is a functioning of our imagination and a functioning of the body, but it's not actually the experiencer. While we believe that that person is who we are, we suffer because we're totally identified with what happens to that person. And like I said in the beginning of this talk tonight, is that person never wins. It's gonna die. It wins, it loses, it wins, it loses. So if you're totally identified with the person, then you're so overwhelmed by everything that happens in life because you really believe it's happening to you. Awakening is this movement back to a freedom of what you are. It's not the end of the dramas of the person. It's not the end of arguments with your lover or disagreements or maintaining all the money. Some people like to say that. They like to say that when you become enlightened, the whole of life reflects back your enlightenment. And to an extent, I understand that. It does change things, but it's also life. Like at some point, this body has to rot and die. And this body's not going to win every game and win all the money and blah, 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 blah. But it does stop a lot of the struggle and stop a lot of the ridiculous games. When I say ridiculous, I mean like them just going too deeply or too intensely. So it changes things, but it also doesn't change things. It's also the human experience, and the human is currently going, if it survives, it's currently going through a very rapid evolutionary change. No, very rapid, evolution at the moment. Not just because of awakening, but also because of society and the building of computers in the last 100 years. Amazing how much I can talk about nothing. Because really this subject's about nothing, because when you really see who you are, it's not a thing. Who you truly are is not a thing. All things aren't you. You are this boundless energy that is all things, but this boundless energy, when really truly recognized, is not a thing. In fact, you could say there are no things. Ultimately, there are no things. All of this is tiny building blocks that make the appearance of things, but in reality there is no things. Just like if you're playing a computer game, it looks like you're playing like Super Mario. It looks like you're Super Mario running through a world, but in reality it's all noughts and ones lined up, and building blocks giving the appearance of a shop that you're running past, or the grass that you're running on, or the sunshine. And it's not actually all these things, it just looks like that. What a subject. I love speaking about non-duality. It's a passion.